Welcome to Warrior Class.
Teachers will pass.
And you will too if you pass.
All right, this is the Toolbox episode. That's our fans calling in already. They couldn't.
Hold your calls till we start the show. The show is not started. Please hold your calls. Hit the like button and the share button until we get started. Now, come on, y'all. It's getting crazy out there.
This is the Toolbox episode in which we will be sharing our top 5 favorite tools. Now, in the Warrior Class, tools, I mean, it can be a wrench, a screwdriver, but you're the weapon.
There you go.
And tools are what you use to defend yourself, your loved ones, your community, whatever. If you pick up a bomb and use it, I'm not advocating using bombs. If you did that, that would be a tool. You're the weapon. So how you place it, where you place it, all that's up to you, the weapon, how you use that to defend.
Well. Hey, real quick, Bob.
Yeah.
I would like you to address, if you don't mind, I hate misquoting people, so I'll generalize it and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Peace 40J Blaze. Appreciate you being in the chat early. I think I posted about, so I ain't lying on myself. I think it was a situation where a firearm was used. I think you know what I'm talking about. Let me try to find it. And a brother had a statement about using firearms. And he was saying how, that's cowardly to use the firearms, and how he wish we get back to real warriorhoodship and everything. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah, I want to know. I just wanted you to speak on that real quick, because I think that's a part of the romanticism we talked about before. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for the exact post, but I can't find it at the time. But he was he was very upset about that. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes right here. So
I would like to know who this person is.
Okay, let's see who he is. I don't want to, and it's not to shame, brother. I don't want to shame him.
No, I just want to know what I'm going to say here today. I would, say to his face, so we could bring him on the show or whatever. But
okay, so
I'm just curious who's thinking like that.
His name, it was on IG, so his name is Damian Timothy. Now he has some really good elixirs, healthy elixirs on his page. So his IG is the Victor's Spoils with a Z. And Damian Timothy said, "The firearm is a weapon of a coward. Sad that we've developed from honored warriors. Need to get back to that." And I did respond. I said, I respect your perspective. I personally see every tool as just that, a tool. Has nothing except what the possessor imposes. Everything I do, I try to do honorably, including blowing the mug away. That's just what I said. So, we wasn't trying to go back and we weren't trying to argue with me or anything. He respected what I said, but he just had his own view about it. Was cowardly. It's just, he has no respect for a tool that allows cowards to seize lands and people that would not otherwise have access to. I don't believe in becoming what or associating myself to what I despise. Integrity and my internal soul are worth more to me than beating a loser at their own game. I know all about the tool, and each warrior chooses their own path, but engaging my enemy like this, it disrespects the spirit of combat. Combustion, I don't know why combustion is right here. Combustion for precision. Oh, okay. Combustion for precision is not efficient.
Okay, so
that's
a couple of things. As far as each warrior chooses his own path, wrong.
I was just thinking about that.
Warrior. If you're solo, you're a dude that's solo, walking around. A warrior, you have to be part of a cadre, particularly an army, or your ass. I mean, you're not an effective warrior. You're going to be taken out of here real quick. That's number one. So you can't show me in history where a warrior just walked his own path or her own path. That doesn't exist. Not if you want to win. It doesn't exist. It only exists in movies. Okay. You know, you got the lone wolf with cub and all that. And he wasn't even by himself. He had a little baby with him.
Right.
Baby
Right.
car. So, you know, that's the thing of movies. But when we talk about the tool as a weapon of a coward, first of all, who says a coward created the tool? That's number one. That's
a good point.
There are some who say Arabs created the first firearm. There are some who say Chinese first created the firearm. Then there's some, you know, from the school of Africans created because Africans created everything. That
Of course we did.
Yeah, but my research shows the Chinese created the first firearm, and they're not cowards.
Yeah.
We can say whatever we want. We can
Yeah.
disagree with them, but they're not cowards. And then number two, so there are old statues. When I say old, I ain't talking about 100 years. I'm talking old, over 500 years. Statues of Ogun, the god of war amongst the Yoruba, carrying what they call a Dane rifle. There's a rifle and a sword. You always will see Ogun with two tools, always. The two tools is characteristic of the Yoruba combat way, okay, as far as warriors, ancient tool use. So you're going to have two swords or a spear and a shield. Or you're gonna always see Ogun with two tools.
Okay.
Because that's the characteristic of those warriors, right? So you'll see him with a Dane rifle and a sword, often, or two swords. Those are the two most common. Ogun is not just iron in war. He's anything that deals with, when we talk about iron, so surgeons, pilots, anything with transportation, drivers, anything dealing with technology is Ogun. So you cannot be stagnant if your enemy is coming at you with rifles and you have swords, your ass is going to lose.
How honorable is that to get killed? Because I won't.
Right. And all my people get killed and my land gets taken. But also when he said, you know, they used a gun to take land, and that's not how they took land. Nobody could just take land with just a gun. You take land, you take people's shit with religion, with sociology, with psychology. There are many things that are in place.
You need the pen and the sword.
Comes into play. But, you know, I had people tell me, you know, I love y'all, you know, African martial arts, but y'all dishonorable because y'all kick people. All that shit is ridiculous. It's romantic and it's ridiculous. If somebody is grappling with me and they're a better grappler, and I see an opening to knee him in his thigh or in his groin, but I don't take it because that's dishonorable. That is the epitome of stupidity.
You wouldn't bite him though, because that's real.
I wouldn't bite him because he was
would.
But if I had teeth, that would be a tool to use.
Yeah, bro.
So all this romantic shit, and when you say, you know, he sells nice herbs and all that, and I'm not breaking on the brother, but that's indicating to me, people that do that, they get very esoteric and romantic and spooky even.
Yeah, we start posting.
Bible
Shea butterism.
to use what we have to use to survive. If I'm fighting somebody, they break my arm, and my bone is sticking out my arm, and I can use that to stab him in his throat. God damn it, I'm gonna use it.
I think it stems from people really never having to fight for their life and understanding what it feels like to fight for your life.
Or seeing
on combat when you haven't engaged in combat.
Or seeing it happen.
Yes.
There was a sister who she was asleep at a party, and a brother went up under her skirt with his face, and she wakes up, get off of me, you know. She tells her husband he wants to do some damage, although he really didn't, because she said, you know, he said, I was going to do some damage. I was strapped up, but she stopped me. She grabbed me and said, don't do it. If somebody did that to my wife, ain't shit she could say. I would say, sure, baby. And as soon as she sat down or went to her shop or whatever, I'm knocking on dude's door. So he really didn't want to do nothing, but they took the dude before a tribunal of elders, supposedly, here in Atlanta. And they punished the dude. You know what his punishment was for going up under her skirt and violating her? He couldn't go to no parties in Atlanta for 6 months. These are people who do not know the fuck they're doing when it comes to the defense of our people. So they'll sit up there, and I respect them as scholars and what they know.
Yeah, well.
But goddamn it, see, when I'm a warrior scholar. No. You're a warrior who happens to be a scholar, or you're a scholar.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, you just claim you're a warrior because you have a penis and testicles? Hell no. Hell no. You know, that has to be earned, and it has to be a thought. You have to have certain thought processes. So you have, you know, people who consider themselves aware of African tradition. They'll claim all men claim to be Ogun. I was dealing with a couple. The brother, I'm Ogun. And the sister, you know, I'm Oshun. No, wrong. The brother was Oshun, beauty and love, and his wife was Ogun. So, and that was proven. And as time went on, it was definitely proven. You want to be something without even proving, without training, without study, without any, you want to just be whatever. Right? You ain't earned shit.
Social media.
And so when people like that talk about warriorhood, he's not a warrior. He don't know the fuck he's talking about. To keep it 100. And so they'll say stuff like that. And the reason why it gets me is because people listen to folks.
Right.
And they use them as a crutch for their own weakness. So instead of studying and becoming the warrior you're supposed to be, I can say, yes, cowardly to use a gun. It's cowardly to kick. It's cowardly to use a knife. Oh, shut the fuck up. Because all of that jive, they don't know what they're talking about. And they earned their place to even talk on warriorhood.
Stay in your lane.
Gotta stay in your lane, man, or you can cause an accident. People will get hurt. So, and that was my big drive for starting warrior class.
Yes.
Was to
build a myth.
People up to what it means. And you may very well be born a warrior, but you ain't been trained one.
Yeah, boy.
You ain't been trained. You may be born to be a flautist. But if you ain't been trained to play that mug, you just dude who was born to be something, but you are not it. You're not a flautist because you weren't trained. You may not even know you're supposed to be a flautist to get trained, right? Or me, I say, well, I think I'm a flautist. And I go pick up that mug Dude, it sounds terrible because I'm not a born flautist. And you may train me and I sound good, but I'm not going to be good like somebody who is trained for that. I can pick up a guitar. I can play guitar by ear, but I'm not goddamn going to be nowhere near George Benson.
Me too, but I don't sound good unless it take me forever.
I pick it up, play, slide on the strings, because people think that's sexy for some reason, and they'll be like, "Woo, you can play." I can entertain you a little bit. Then somebody like George Benson comes and say, "Can I see that guitar?" And I just like a goddamn fool.
Yeah, me too.
So stay in your lane, man, and you can go outside and dib and dab and hobby, but don't start making these statements, these bold statements about what a warrior is not, what they should be doing. Stay away from guns and all that.
Who's a coward?
If your enemy is shooting at you with a rifle and you think you're gonna drop kick that motherfucker, you're finished.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fly and kick him while he's shooting. We know a person think or thought they could kick knife out your hand.
the matters the truth.
The master truth. If you can think what you want, test that shit.
Right. If I know we say that just so you know why we say the matters the truth. It is not exactly because it is because everything can be tested there. That's one reason. But another reason is because you can't philosophize once we lock up. Once me and you touch hands, no matter what you say, it doesn't matter no more. No matter what you think, no matter what you feel, all that stuff don't matter no more. How you feel about life, if you hate me, if you like me, if you think you can beat me, all that matters is what you really know. That's why the matters the real truth. All that shit you think you know, it goes out the door real fast. I thought I could do this. Oh, well, you can't.
Now, let me address. Jay said martial arts are all rooted in what to do if you lose your weapon on the battlefield. Maybe that's Asian martial arts. The idea is not to lose your weapon on the battlefield. If you lose it, you're the weapon. So you ain't lost no weapon. You cannot do that unless you're dead. But if you lose a tool, so I'm on the battlefield and I have my knife and I lose it. What's the solution? I pull my other one.
Right.
I do not, unless everything fails, use my hand against metal. That's not going to go well in most cases. So I have to be prepared. If I got one, how many do I have? None. Because that can be taken. So then I pull out this pocket, this one. And I pull out this pocket, this one. And then I come with other things. So now I'm not saying walk around with an arsenal on you. Right. I often do. But have at least two tools. It could be an impact tool and a knife. It could be two impact tools, depending on where you live, the laws of your state. You may not be able to carry a knife. You can carry a marker. And there are always tools all around. Once again, if you're thinking like the weapon, there are tools around. But as far as, I've heard that from other things. Weapons were used, so we drop our martial arts came about because we drop our weapon. Now we use martial arts. That's not the African way of thinking when it comes to martial arts. And I'm not breaking on the Asians. If the Asians think like that, that's cool. The belief in traditional African martial arts is the first thing that came about was using, first of all, you slap a person stuff as a baby. But you put an iron glove on that baby, it's going to fuck another baby up. So we realized we can use a stick. Then we say, hey, what if I put a blade on the end of this stick, a stone blade or whatever. Now it becomes a spear, right? Well, how do I use it? Okay, as first I use my hands, so I punch with it, right? So I put that stick in my hand and I punch with it. So now instead of uppercutting, I'm uppercutting with the ends of the stick. I punch forward, boom! I hit you forward with it. right? Or forward with it. So that now the stick can hit you. The staff, really, which is the longer stick that came first. And then the shorter stick. And then from that shorter stick, I said, wait a minute. Okay. If I put a blade on the end of the longer stick, it's a spear. What about if I put a blade in place of the stick? And that's how the sword came about. So we've always been tool heavy.
Right.
Whenever you see warriors in African statues, you never see, unless it's a wrestler, which is their ability to train during peacetime, you never see them empty-handed, like the monks. And even monks in China, they would walk around, they would have staffs, they train with swords, so that means they carry them up.
Right.
Okay. So martial arts means war arts. It's always been with war, and war technology is king. Even when we talk about the knife, the staff, and we talk about the intelligence of the tool.
Yeah, well.
If it's a non-intelligent tool, there's a way we use that. If it's an intelligent tool, that's another way we use that tool. So technology has always been king with the African. Okay. Particularly when it comes to anything, but warfare.
Yeah, I almost feel like that's a ploy, a propaganda tool, like to make us more docile or something. You know what I'm saying? Somebody put that out.
The enemy got weapons like a mug, and we ain't picking them up.
Yeah.
There was a thing that happened here in the United States. The indigenous, Native Americans, they used to do what's called the ghost dance. And the ghost dance allowed them to be impervious to swords, tomahawk, arrow. So white man coming, they figured they'd use the ghost dance against his rifles. White man come riding up, they started ghost dancing. Ghost dancing and shit. And it's gonna make them, and they got shot down by the hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
They got massacred. That ghost dance didn't do shit against those rifles.
Ain't never did a ghost dance again. Huh?
Because the mistake is they're physical. We're spiritual. So we're going to beat them because a spirit beats physical. You don't understand spirit. Spirit is energy. And this is the house of spirit. God damn it. I hit you with this fist, you're going to feel all my ancestors up in there. But if I shoot you, you also going to feel, God damn, he was accurate. Ancestors coming through, goddamn, to let me shoot you in your eye.
Yeah, bro.
This knife, all of that. This is all spiritual. There's nothing in the realm of the physical that didn't start in the mind. The mind is spiritual.
Yeah,
the chairs we sit on, that was somebody's thought to make that chair first. This knife was somebody's thought to build that motherfucker. It's all spiritual. So stop that esoteric bullshit. Because that is how we lose.
Yeah, bro.
Because we don't understand that we are spirit. So we ain't got a ghost dance, goddammit. We pick up that rifle and shoot back at their ass, or we kill them to the best of our ability, take their rifles, use them.
On them. Yeah, bro.
See if the God you believe in lets you shoot better than they shot. But you better be training, because the God you believe in, if you ain't training to shoot that mug,
right,
you're gonna miss.
God ain't gonna aim for you.
Right, he ain't gonna aim for you. You're gonna miss. You better.
I don't know. Jesus might take the aim for you.
Yeah. So okay, well, tell Jesus take the wheel. Anybody who wants to use that with me, drive on the highway and tell Jesus take the wheel. Take your hand off. Jesus gonna space on you. You're gonna have a goddamn accident.
Because Jesus gonna say, hey, We gave you hands and feet. What you want from me?
Hey, yeah. Ogun, you know how to do it with Ogun. Ogun be like, all right, well, let's take this ride. Crash. I mean, come on, man. You know, sisters telling other sisters, you know, one of my students told me, the person kicking in the door, you pray them out your house. Like my wife always say, shit, you better be praying before they kick in your door.
Right.
Use your force field. Another sister in class was like, she used her force field. She did that to Akin Bobala, right? He ended up they were grabbing, trying to grab. She used that. He ended up like running into it. He big. He fucked her up. I said, what happened to your force field? Your force field broke? She got pissed. She never came back to class. Like, your force field broke? Now, she should have laughed.
Right.
But she took that shit so seriously.
Seriously, right.
And her force field was broken down by Akin Bobala, and it pissed her off. If she had sense, she'd have said, well, damn, that force field shit didn't work. Let me keep training.
Right.
There you go, Yapo. I guess you do the ghost dance after the enemies are all laid out. That's
okay.
Right. You're dancing, sending a ghost on off. That's what the ghost dance should be. You hit that.
On the fire.
I see.
Another thing too.
Exactly. She thought she had a force field. Man, you know, there's so much spooky shit. And
right.
Over my years of teaching, I ran into so much that I laugh at it. But when I really think about it, I get pissed off because, man, we in trouble. I need folks to help. If shit go down, if everything falls, I need folks to help, to be able to recruit, to train, so our community can be safe. And I know, we are in trouble.
I was my son is taking a hip hop class in school right now. So he's listening to a lot of like old school, you know, hip hop types. So he's gotten into De La Soul. He's gotten into a bunch of different groups. Yeah, but he right now, he is really into the song Self-Destruction. Like we had to listen to it 3 times last night before he would go to bed. So of course I've heard Self-Destruction a million times, you know, but I'm really listening to it while he's listening to it, you know, especially last night. And I'm just thinking about how the approach to, you know, having guns, the way that they talk about it in the song and how it's not a positive thing. And, you know, of course, that's another reason why we don't need to be looking to celebrities to figure out what our mentality or what our view towards certain things should be. But listening to the song, it made me realize, like, you know, I really need to make sure I have a conversation with him about why they would be making a song saying those certain things about firearms. Right. Because, you know, most of the time, celebrities, they don't have our best interests at heart anyway. They're just pushing whatever they're being told to push. But, you know, a lot of times it's just not the appropriate view. Just like with this brother talking about cowards using guns, like it's not the appropriate view toward them because you don't know how to use them.
Right. Well, you know, a brother who, he's a filmmaker. Okay, made a couple of well-known films. I'm not going to name them. Knows me. We know each other well. We haven't spoken since. So I put online about people talking about assault rifle. The AR means assault rifle. It absolutely does not.
Right.
It means armor-light rifle. Okay. And I said, it's a semi-automatic rifle. It's not an assault rifle. That's a definition that the news is giving it to demonize it, but they got him.
Right.
He went off. Motherfucker, you know what they talking about. Just when I said, dude, you're going to disrespect me for educating folks on what's right? I said, man, look, stop eating them burgers. Stop eating them burgers and drink Kool-Aid and shit. You know, I disrespected him back, to be honest with you. I hit him where I know it bothered him about his weight, and then I blocked him. Right? No, you're gonna disrespect me because I'm educating folks. Get your ass out of here.
The ego,
The
man.
thing was, when he said it, you know, these assault rifles have to be taken off the street and all this. He got so many likes under there. I said, okay, I gotta address him back.
Great segue. Thank you.
And then get rid of him. You know, people love that he said that, and that lets me know that people really believe. For us, we got to get rid of guns. We got to get rid of guns.
Right. Except for the ones that shooting us.
Right.
Down whenever they get ready. They can have them.
You know, the police ain't getting rid of that now. If the whole world got rid of guns, you know, I said, okay, y'all, I still keep mine. But, you know, hey, I'm with you. I wouldn't pull them out unless, you know, if 10 people come to my house doing karate, you think I'm going to fight them with my fists? I tear that ass up. We have to have common sense. So, you know, back in the day, we would throw hands. Yeah, that's good. But I'm from Chi-Town. So growing up, I seen muds throw hands. Also, at 12 years old, I saw walking around the corner to the corner store, I saw this brother blow this other brother's leg off with a shotgun. Blow the bottom of his leg off. And then he looks at me and said, "Come on to the store, Al. Go on, man." Like, I'm disturbing him from doing his work. Mm-hmm. That was back then. I was born in 68. That was 79. You telling me back in the day, it was violent then. I don't know where motherfuckers may be.
You just ain't see it. You just say that's all it was. You just didn't see it, but it's always been
right. You know, maybe they were from I don't know where they were from. I've also seen the police stomp a motherfucker's face almost flat as a little boy. So don't tell me that, you know, this world was not violent. It was better back then. My father was one of the first people in the special forces. That was in 1950. You tell me they weren't violent? Hell yeah. You tell me World War II done seen more mud put in the dirt than any other war in history. That was in the 40s. World War II ended in 44. When are you telling me America, at least, ain't been violent?
America's built
the good old days. Or are you black? Ain't been no good old days for us. Shit. Slavery. When has America not been violent towards black people? When have we not suffered violence? When was that the good old days? See that shit too. Where do you live? Talking about the good old days. When have we had good old days?
Right. It's like we want to romanticize our way to that utopia. It's just like when people talk about whether or not it's appropriate for women to dress a certain way. It's like, oh, well, you should wear whatever you want and no one should say anything to you or do anything to you. That's true. No one should say anything or do anything to you, but that's not the world that we live in. Right. So we can't act as though that is the world that we live in right now. We can't act as though we live in the world that we don't need any defenses. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yes. You look nice, man. You look beautiful. I was just addressing my wife. She getting ready to go to a wedding, so she's looking nice. All right, so now
there you go.
Greetings, yeah.
Yeah, she said greetings. Now there's somebody asked, okay, what tools should we have for our home? So we're about to get into it.
Okay.
Number 5. Anybody want to go?
I will start with my number 5.
All right.
I don't have the tool with me, but my number 5 favorite tool. I know nobody gonna expect none of these. This is so interesting to me, but the 5th tool for me is the middle staff. That is my number 5 tool. The middle
So the middle
staff.
stab yard is about 5 feet to 5.5 feet long.
If you've been on our channel, you've seen the middle staff. You know how it looks. Or to pick a good one, it needs to come about to. If I'm standing up, see about right here to you. So a little bit between. Where's that about between your navel and the chest?
It can be navel is kind of short, but it can be there. But ideally to your armpit.
Right. Okay.
Which is so if you go to your solar plexus, that should be right. A little bit below your armpit.
Right.
So
right.
Solar plexus to your armpit. That's how long it should be.
So
what should it be made of?
Any type of
hardwood.
It can be a bit more flexible wood, but when you talk about cocobolo, hardwood, mahogany, ebony, it can be any of those woods. It'd be hard to carve it yourself. You have to get somebody who know how to carve that.
I searched for a clip of.
It could be oak, hickory, anything like that. When you get a middle staff, it shouldn't be straight. It shouldn't be a straight stick. So people have given me as a gift, straight stick. The way we strike the friction in your it will burn your hand up.
Yeah.
So it needs to have a little bit of wavering in it, so you could use it. It kind of disperses that friction, right? Yeah. Also, you don't want it too thick. Student comes in with you cut a thing off a tree, it's thick as hell. You can't really wield that the way you should. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
3 students all the time.
Huh?
I said it's like you talk about the same 3 students all the time.
Because those same 3 students off the chain. So it should be probably how can I describe it? When you hold it like you would hold a sword in your hand, but it's longer than that, So that's the middle staff.
And it's different from a bow staff. A brother asking, I'm not sure if this is a brother. That's solely
about 3.5 feet to 5 feet.
Yeah. It depends on your height. I manifesto.
A bow staff.
Bow staff is like the long staff, right?
Yeah, that's like 6 feet.
Yeah,
now, that's an African staff that's long. I haven't taught. I haven't taught any students that. I don't think the long staff.
We call it long bow, don't we? The long bow, is that what we call it?
We don't call it bow. That's Japanese.
Okay. Long staff. I'm sorry.
We'll say dako, but the reason why I haven't taught, we need some place with a large ceiling or to do it outside with the long staff.
Yeah, that's a lot. I seen the pictures of you doing it, but we haven't gotten to that yet. The draw Mbuku had. What did Mbuku have?
Mbaku. Yes, so Mbaku, that'll be a middle staff, yes.
Okay. So the reason I like the middle staff, and I'm never going. Well, I know we didn't say about talking about whys and all that stuff, but very quickly.
Hold on, real quick. Somebody said, "Was that is Akin Bobola?" He said, Obobola. Is Akin Bobola? Was that big old Akin Bobola coming in with a log? No, no. A log in his hand would look like a stick.
Okay.
Big old.
It was a student. It was a student who was about 5'9", actually, and lean, who would come in with it. He always, do something different. But yeah. So Akin Bobola actually, he's good with the middle staff. I don't think that's one of his favorite tools, though.
It's one of my favorite because I just like the fact that it's intelligent, tricky, slippery, it's deceptive. I'm just holding the stick. I mean, and I always think about and remember how I first looked at a tool when I was introduced to it in ignorance. So a stick, if you're not trained, you may look.
That you remember the sister, she's 64. And whenever you see her now, she's walking down the street with that walking stick.
And she know how to use it. Yes, sir. Yes,
right.
sir. So that's why I like it. It's just very deceptive. It can disappear on you the way we use it. You might think I'm going one way, then I slip and come another way, and it's just so tricky and so intelligent. That's it for me for number 5.
What's your 5 on me, Nikki?
I actually have a kind of an assortment of number 5s. I used to drive Lyft, so I would make sure, and I still do now, just out of habit, I make sure that I keep a lot of sort of blunt weapons around me that I can get to easily in the car. So I just brought some of the ones that I have in the car.
Speaking of your blunt tools, you left the
I
just found it.
That's a mini bat,
right? Yeah,
cool.
Flashlight, little metal flashlight. This is a bigger, thicker flashlight, which is good to have in the car for other reasons too, of course. And
flashlights all around.
And we've had a couple of shows now where Baba teaches on the hammer. So if that's something that you're interested in, then you can look for those 2 shows. I apologize, I didn't go through and do the research and find the shows for you. But Baba teaches on how to use the hammer. So I like to keep some blunt weapons around me that I can use in the car if I need to grab something quickly. So that's my number 5.
Okay.
My number 5. This is one of the, I think, the first time I've been seeing holding a pistol before. I think I showed you all how to unload and load it or something in one of the episodes. But this is my number 5.
Nice.
I'm at home and I happen to see this one. I'm not saying I own it. I just happen to see it. No. So this is a Shockwave, 590 Shockwave, Mossberg. I have this one. This is 20 gauge, and I have a 12 gauge. Okay. This is a firearm. It's not a shotgun. We call it. In fact, we call it not a shotgun because it's not a shotgun. Shotgun legally has to have 18-inch barrel. It has to have a stock by law, and it's fired from the shoulder. That's key. That's what makes it a shotgun. This does not, it hasn't been modified. So if you modify it, it can still be a shotgun and illegal. If you cut it down, make a sawed-off shotgun. This came from the factory like this. This is a Raptor grip, not a stock, and it's got a 14-inch barrel. I put this in my backpack. People don't know it's there. This can be, I wouldn't recommend it. This can be fired with one hand. I'm well trained. This is too much weight. And the 20 gauge, the 12 gauge, hell no.
Only hold it with one hand if you're being filmed or something and people watching you shoot. You want to look cool,
right?
Hold it with one hand.
So this, yeah, that's a movie prop for those monitoring. Exactly. This is rubber.
Good one.
This is rubber. So,
speaking to that question too, Bob, about home protecting your home.
Yeah, so this is great for protecting your home. I can move through hallways and everything and not bump into it. A full shotgun, I may bump the wall. One of my shotguns, I certainly would. This can be fired from your hip. It can be fired up. It does not fire from the shoulder. In fact, if you fire from the shoulder, you're probably going to get injured. That's why legally it's not a shotgun. What is it listed as? Just a firearm. And some people have listed it as a pistol. But unlike a pistol, you don't have to get this registered. You can buy it right from the store or a gun show. You don't have to register shit. Okay? Just like you don't have to register a shotgun, but it's not a shotgun. Okay? It's a firearm. I love it because it's so handy, and on it, another student of mine. He's a big dude. He's 6'4", 260. A shoe by you. He bought,
Shoot by E.
and he should have talked to me. He bought a shotgun with a pistol grip, and it jacked his hand up. Do not get a pistol grip shotgun. That is going to harm your wrist. It could dislocate it. This Raptor grip here, so pistol grip, my hand is behind the shotgun. So the force, a shotgun has incredible force. The force of that is going into my wrist, and then that's going into my arm. It's a good chance if it doesn't dislocate my wrist, and I lock my wrist and arm, it can dislocate my elbow. The Raptor grip, my hand is not behind the shotgun, it's above it.
Yeah, bro.
So you have your elbow down. When you fire, it takes the forces, it goes backwards. You do not take it in the shoulder because it doesn't have a stock. The energy goes back towards your chest. So your chest and your arm you let your arm ride. And you take that energy with your chest and you bring it forward in your back and you bring it back forward for another shot.
You got a question?
Since this is a movie prop, it's loaded with blanks, so I won't rack the slide or nothing because one of them blanks will fly out. And I'm holding my finger, so I don't want to accidentally pull the trigger and one of those blanks blow a hole in that door. These some strong blanks in there. So and the 20 gauge for smaller folks, smaller men and women. 20 gauge is a real comfortable shot for you. 12 gauge is strong. People say, well, I want a 12 gauge, blow a hole in the mug. This will too. Don't worry about that. So you can get the 20 gauge. 20 gauge is usually more expensive than 12, just so you know, though.
Jay is asking, is there a leather strap? You're out of that. So my first question, Jay,
you don't need a leather strap. Okay.
Why got to be leather though? Because
he fly.
I was just wondering why I got to be leather.
They fly with it. No, so if I'm carrying this, they go right in my backpack.
Yeah, a grip can get you.
When I carry a rifle, my rifles, I don't even use slings.
Straps can be used against
one of my students for one of my rifles, they bought me a sling. I said, "Oh, that's nice." I don't use them, but I'm used to carrying. I don't want. So if you need to, let this lay. I can't say I never use a sling, but so let me let this. So I'm firing, boom, boom. If I have a sling on it, I let that fall to my side. I pull my pistol. You could do that if you want, but I don't even see you. You may be able to add a.
So you need that butter soft suede strap.
Rails in this mud or something.
Alligator.
Now you could put a sling in here if you want to.
Yeah.
Some type of lanyard through there. I don't do it, y'all. I'm old school. I don't do it. Another thing, a bunch of students bought me different digital sights and all that. Oh, that's real nice. I love it. I appreciate it. I shoot with iron sights, but not to say I never use it. That's one of my rifles. It's got Picatinny rail on it, so I can put different stuff on there. If I wanted to look cool and walk. But all that adds weight, y'all.
Right.
But so and this here, this is for close range. You don't so you don't need no sights or nothing like that on it. Also, if you don't know, so shotgun spreads. I'm walking through the hallway, and there's a problem. Two dudes come around the corner, boom! I fire. I hit both of them.
Right.
I really don't have to aim as long as the muzzle's pointing at them, but I would aim to make sure I shoot true. Both of them gonna get hit because it spreads unless they real close to me.
And you can beat a murder charge too. In some states where if you shoot somebody in the head in your house, that's still attempted murder. But if you got a shotgun, the spray, I wasn't aiming at his head. I was aiming at his chest. It's just
chest, right? So that's Georgia, y'all. Just so you know, Georgia's real lean.
Right. I mean, I'm sure everyone's heard.
Don't try that in Chicago.
Mr. John just walked into the chat with you holding the not a shotgun, Bobby. He said, "Oh snap! What did I walk in on?"
Yeah. So you walked in on me holding a movie prop.
That's all, Preston. It's just a movie
Rubber
prop.
gun.
Rubber. This is a rubber firearm. That's all.
Talking about
I was going to say too. Excuse me. I was just going to say too. I almost made the same mistake of buying the pistol grip shotgun because I saw it for a really good deal. But I called Baba first, and he told me not to buy it. And he shared with me about the other student who bought one. So if you don't have, if you have someone at your disposal that knows firearms. Or maybe if you're able to wait, if Bob was willing to, make sure that you
YouTube
before you spend that money because it's not something that you can return.
Right, you can YouTube and get a lot of information too. I mean, you can find experts that got talking about each gun any gun that you like. You can find a site basically dedicated to it.
Yeah. Call me. Yeah. Because the one thing they won't do. So a lot of those guys are paid.
Right. You never know who is paid.
Right. So
Bob ain't answering the phone. You ain't wasting your time.
No,
that's why I'm trying to
call me.
You can wait and come to the chat on Saturday.
Text me, or if you got my number, or send me an email. Hit me up at Warrior Class BPM in the messages. Hopefully I'll get it. Belay don't, because he may curse you out.
Hey, and so what she said is important too to think about this. Okay, that's the optimal what you want, that not a shotgun. You don't want the pistol grip. I'm telling you, a few years ago, that's what I had. I had the pistol grip, the exact thing you wasn't supposed to have, but I didn't have anything, and we were about to go into COVID that I felt could protect my house. So something is still better than nothing. I just want to put that out there. So if you see I'd rather dislocate my wrist and still be alive if that's all that's around. So
there's a question. So Jay says, all right, firing technique with a shotgun with no stock so it does not come flying out of your hands. All right, so number one, this here, put your hand through. Okay, so when it flies, this is there. You can rack the slide with this. You just pull your hand back and all right. You put
all of them don't have that. That's the big part. All of them don't have that thing you can put your hand in like that.
Yeah, so put that also so it's not going to fall. I can hold it. I'm just being careful because
there you go, Jay. That's a strap right there, Jay.
This is loaded, even though it's loaded with blanks.
If you want to.
Loaded with blanks. So now when you fire, if you fire from your hip, you can put that right in your hip well and fire, or you can hold it up here. But I'm an experienced shooter. Drop your elbow. That's key. If your elbow is up, it's not this. Now that allow, and you lean forward.
You both
shoot. Boom, boom. They've seen me shoot this. This here, and I've had my students who go into the ring with me all shoot this. Women, men, all different sizes. My daughter at the time, first time she shot this, I think she. Oh, all right, love y'all. My daughter, come here, Yemi. Y'all heard me talk about it. This is Yemi. She's 14 now. That's Yemi.
Oh, she dressed up.
Yeah.
First time she shot this. How old were you, Yemi? About 10, 11? She was 11 and shot this. No problem. I train you how to shoot with this when we go to the range. I'm only going to go so far because, with a rubber gun and people watching, I'm only going to talk so much. But this is not a problem. This is the 20. She also shot the 12. It's not a problem. It's not no problem. All right. It all comes down to training. That's all. All right. So
Number
somebody
4.
shot palm their own hand off with Kel-Tec with the front and back pistol grips. Now that's terrible. If you shot your own hand off, that means you did this. I don't even do this in play. Imagine this is the muzzle. Imagine my hand. You bring your hand in front and then put it. I don't do that. My hand slides from behind that. You got to have discipline with any firearm. Never put your hand in front of the muzzle. Ever. Ever. When your hand goes to the grip, your fingers should be straight and on the side unless you are about to fire. I saw somebody posing with a pistol. My fingers down here still straight. But they were in here. Their finger in there. I said, this person is dangerous as shit.
But he ain't fucking around. And
yeah.
If you got that.
Yeah, exactly. So when you see people posing like that, like, please, you say, well, why is your trigger back like that? See how far back it is? Don't worry about that. Don't adjust your firearms to do certain things unless you know what you're doing. Okay? That's all right.
Number 4 for me is what was that? Okay, so number 4 is 4 and 3 are interchangeable. I don't have an order for them. An unconventional tool. You gotta remember, self-defense. The highest form of self-defense is avoidance. Mm-hmm. So number 4 for me is going to be my truck.
Boom, nice.
So my truck is for me a great tool for self-defense and self-protection. You know, I can avoid something with my truck, or I could choose not to avoid it if I see it in the street.
And then they better avoid it.
Exactly. It offers some type of protection while I'm inside. It don't protect you from everything, but it offers some type of protection that offers me a way to, escape and get away from situations. Bob, if you don't mind, can I just run mine down real quick? I'm gonna have to leave out in a second.
Yeah.
All right. So I love y'all, man, but I'm gonna run mine down real quick. So I got my truck as number 4 or number 3. Number 3 is going to be my cell phone. Will be number 3. I don't know which one to put before or after each other. The cell phone is going to be one of my biggest tools of self-protection, avoidance, because I can use it for so many different functions. Who is this fool right here? Let me take a picture. Send it to Bob. Go look him up. Hey, call somebody. You know this dude right here? Who that outside? What's going on over there? How do I get to so-and-so? Hey, look out the window. I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just scraping the surface. It's a mini computer. You can use it for so many things. I could bust your side of the head with it if I got to. I don't want to do that.
You can tell a dude to come outside, his delivery's there, then you use your truck.
Right. I can put the phone in my shirt and hold it like this, and I might can get away a little bit. But so that's gonna be number 3. Number 2, I didn't distinguish.
Oh, I'm sorry, you forgot to say call the police, B-Lane.
Number 2 is going to be so he just threw me all out. I didn't distinguish between the firearms. I'm going to put that as my number 2 to go. So the reason I didn't do that because it's situational. If I'm in the house, it's one firearm. If I'm in the car or out in public, there's another firearm. If I got an issue from long distance, there's another firearm. But I put them in the same rank, and so that's number 2. Number 1 for me, y'all already know, it's going to be, no matter which one it is, going to be that blade. Whether it's the knife, whether it's the karambit, it's going to be the blade for me, because when it's on, and it's up close and personal. That's where it's going to be at. So number 1 is the blade. It's deceptive, meaning I can keep it from you knowing I got it on my person. It can be in my hand at the time. You won't know. I can use it without it making noises. I can use it to keep you from making noises, and I can keep moving and keep things quiet. I can hit you with it, and you won't even bleed from it. You won't even know you hit from it. I can keep on going. So for those reasons, I will say that's my order. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it in the chat. So anyway, I appreciate y'all. I hate to bail out on y'all.
Thank you, brother.
Keep it going. Y'all be safe. And
you too. Peace.
All right, be safe, Belay. Peace.
All right. So, what's your number 4, Monique?
My number 4 is my shotgun. It is not as nice and short as Baba's. Mine is the musket kind, sort of. But if somebody come up in here, it will be what it will be. Now, this one is
a 20. I couldn't tell.
This is a 20 gauge also. It's by Nomad. And this is actually a one-shotter. I'm looking to buy. The next one that I'm going to get is going to be the Mossberg. But I got a great deal on this. I called Baba to make sure that it was okay to get, and then I bought it. It was when COVID was starting to get going, so I wanted to make sure that I had something a little bit stronger for home defense. Baba mentioned the 20 gauge thing. That's important for what people would probably consider a small woman. And I don't do a lot of shooting with shotguns, unfortunately. So this is something that I can use in my home and not have to worry about it being too powerful for me, especially in a high intensity type situation. That's not something that I want to be thinking about.
Real quick, iPrince Majestic 2.6. I am confused. So if an intruder enters your house, you're going to go through all those steps? Just asking. I'm trying to figure out what steps does he mean. So if some intruder enters my house, number one, this wouldn't be the one I would get. I'm not going to show what I would use intruder. I mean, I have gone around my house and searched my house with this one. Intruder enters my house. Say I have this one. Pick it up. Fire. Rack the slide. Round comes out. Another one's in the chamber. I fire again if I have to. That's not many steps.
He might be talking about mine.
No, he said he's confused earlier on. But
okay.
Say what. So if you're talking about the way you stand, you pick it up, lean forward, fire. Boom. Elbow down. Pick it up, lean forward, elbow down, fire. Boom. That's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. It's just practice.
Right.
That's all. As I'm talking through how to use it, it may sound like a lot of steps, but if 3, 4, 5 steps is too much, you just need to pick up a knife. And even then, there are steps if you want to be effective.
Right.
It's not a lot once you practice. You realize now. I'll talk to a student and say, okay, person punches. You cover, strike. You cover, break your stun to the neck, collar tie, punch. Okay, that's the zip pump. That's it. Zip pump. That's it. It's not a lot once it's practice, but you have to learn the steps going through. That's all. All right. What if the intruder has an AR-15 with a 30-round mag? If ifs and buts were candies and nuts,
right,
it'd be Christmas. But if an intruder comes to my house with an AR-15, I don't care about the size of the magazine. This is unless I'm which I'm not going to be drunk, half passed out, and I don't realize that he's at my house and kicks into the door, he's going to eat. My house is well prepared to protect myself. And I don't care what his tools are. Same when I'm walking on the street. I don't care what he got. I know what I have. And that's what you got to be concerned about. That's what he better be concerned about. You have to be prepared to protect yourself, not worrying about will he come in with a nuclear bomb and shit. Mother, come to my house. Some jobs just you're not going to beat. What if he comes in with the Incredible Hulk? Well, I just get my ass whooped. You get broken in half. That's all. I don't worry about that.
Right.
I do my best. And even then, he walk in with Incredible Hulk. First thing I'm going to do is say, shit. And then I'm going to fight to the best of my ability and get broken in half in seconds. And at least he'll kill me quick. I ain't really feel it. I don't worry about what they coming in with. Another student was at home in another country. He was laying down with his wife, his children, in another room, sleep. 5 dudes come in the house. Now, in that country, they can't easily get firearms, but they come in and try to stab with a knife. He disarms the dude. He didn't have any tools. He does now, but that was a mistake back then. He disarms the dude and stabs him. Stabs 2 of them. One of them, left this earthly plane. He got the hell about that country. You have to protect yourself. There's no way somebody would say if 5 people come in your house, what would you do? He wouldn't have thought for a second that he would prevail. But he did. After he stabbed the 2 of them, the other 3 hauled ass out of his crib. And it was the injustice of law enforcement that caused him the biggest problem. Okay. You just got to do what you got to do to the best of your ability. We all came to this world dying. We're going to all leave here one day. But it's your duty to stay as long as you can, do the best you can, work out, eat better, train, be willing and able to protect yourself and your family. Do the best you can. Bring your A game. Anytime you got to protect yourself or somebody else. That's all.
I was going to go into the
hold on. That's poor advice. You have to be worried what intruders potentially have so you can prevent the worst case scenarios. No disrespect. This is just poor. It's not poor advice. It's real advice. If somebody kicks in your door, you don't know what they have. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I answered your question, Prince Majestic. The one thing I can't be done to is pulled into a long conversation with somebody I don't even know. I answered your question out of respect, but we ain't going to do that. You can't say it's poor advice because I'm not a psychic. Somebody kicks in that door right now. I'm awake. I don't know what the fuck they got because my door is closed. But guarantee you I'm going to handle it. And you don't know what I have in my house, so you don't know what level of advice I'm talking about. Right. Thank you. I'm sorry, Ominiki. Go ahead. That kind of see that's early on what Belay was talking about. Everybody knows something.
Right.
Everybody knows something. I don't know if he even has the qualification to know what's good or bad advice when it comes to defense.
Belay pointed out, he used the word worried in the first place.
Say what?
I said Belay pointed out, he used the word worried in the first place. That shows you the mentality. You know?
Worry is fear you manufacture, and that's what that is. Worried about he got an AR-15. Worried about he got a SKS. Worried about man, please.
Grenade
launcher. You can't worry about what somebody got. I think he has a 9mm in his. I think he got a 45 in his pocket. You can't worry about that shit. People who do that, they never see the real danger when it's coming. They're so worried about this can happen, this can happen, this can happen, as opposed to flowing in the midst of living. that when the real shit happens, they was looking over here for the problem, and the problem is right here.
We're just overly obsessed with these small details that you can't control.
Vision, but like I said, I'm old school. I'm not really built for these YouTube debates.
Yeah, Bob.
If I'm number one, if I'm going to debate back and forth with somebody, I gotta know them to even know their qualifications.
Right.
It's like I tried to debate with, and I said before, I tried to debate with Jared about Bitcoin. I don't know shit about that.
Right.
I sound like a fool.
Right.
Because that's not my qualifications. But I am qualified with this. I've been training in this for 50 years. So it's best to listen, even if you know something.
And been through real combat.
Real
combat.
Right. And have lived through real combat. That's because many people have been in combat and ain't lived to tell the tale.
Right.
On the street and on the battlefield.
Yeah, Bob.
So I try to just humble myself. I'm a regular dude that just has a certain skill set. But goddamn, I'm good at my skill set. And it's proven. Yeah, I'm good at my skill set. So forgive me when I try to answer something and then somebody telling me it's bad advice. That's serious to me because I'm not going to give nobody bad advice when it comes to your life. I don't play with this shit.
Right.
Many people have. Many people have played and they've given people wrong advice that could get them killed. I'm telling you for real, do not fixate on if somebody kick in my house and they got so-and-so. How you going to know what they got? Even the thing you see may not be the worst thing that they have.
Right.
When you deal with an explosion, and this deals with people too, the explosive device you see is not the device that's going to be the main killer. That's the trigger for what's really coming. This is how our enemy moves on us. So we focused on so-and-so is doing this. So-and-so talking crazy. So-and-so, that's the trigger for what's really coming. Perhaps we focus on this disease so we get this vaccination. I ain't talking about the vaccination now, or maybe I am. And perhaps that vaccination is the real bomb.
Right. But not now, 10, 15 years from now.
And people will say, well, why didn't you get vaccinated? You don't know what I've done. I've never said whether I'm vaccinated or not on purpose. Because whether I'm vaccinated or not doesn't change the fact of who I am. Whether a person has an SKS, shotgun, pistol, it doesn't change the fact that they're dangerous as shit to my family. Y'all understand? So I have to act accordingly, protect my family. That's all.
Right. Absolutely. What I was going to say as far as the shotgun goes is, and this is also advice that I've received from Baba, is I have buckshot loaded into the shotgun. There's a few different kinds of ammo that you can buy for shotguns. One is birdshot, which is a bunch of little pellets that come out, which could be useful. And if there's nothing else available, definitely get you some birdshot. But the buckshot is something that won't go through the wall. It will injure and or, take out the person, but it won't go through the wall. And if you have a family, that's something that you may want to be thinking about, especially if you have small children.
Watch out for the slug.
Excuse me?
Watch out for the slug. That will go through the wall.
Right. Yeah. And that's another kind of ammo that you can get for your shotgun is the slugs. But if you have small children, or if you may not know exactly where everyone is located in the house, then you may want to make sure you have the buckshot. I've also heard of people loading different kinds. And when you have multiple, when you can load multiple slugs into your shotgun, maybe the first one's birdshot. I wouldn't do that, but maybe the first one's buckshot, and then the next 3 are slugs, or whatever way you kind of want to think about what you'd like to do. And maybe Baba might have some more advice as far as that goes. But look for buckshot if you are concerned about shooting through the wall in your home.
Right. Now, my 4 is the machete. This is a kukri style machete, which I love. I have a couple of kukris. One was given by one of my students, well, 2 of my students at their wedding.
Oh.
Bakim, gave me the kukri he used in his wedding. It was nice. This was given to me by a student who's a full instructor almost soon for a birthday gift. Okay. The kukri, because of its weight here, it allows you to chop with less energy. Okay. So if the reason I like it, I can work with it. If I got to chop down things, carve things, cut things, right? And also if I have to defend myself. Because so when you cut, it's not just with the locked arm. You lock your wrist until the end, and then you use your wrist for added force, and this just carries it through. So you get deeper cuts with this. When you slash, same thing. The slashes are deeper. So that's a kukri style. Okay.
Prester John is talking about rusted machetes for the win, and how that's too pretty. It's got to have that H patina. I don't know if he's joking or not, but just think about, rust is going to be weakness in the metal if it's rusted. So you want to make sure that you take care of that. If you
oil your tools, rusted may look cool, but you don't want your shit breaking. Right.
That's another kind of movie, type of thing where, the weakness is cool because you like how it looks or something like that.
Now, if you want a patina on the handle, if you got a wood handle, now that could be pretty, but too pretty, got to have that aged patina. This here, what I think is pretty is this sharp ass blade right there. And when it cut and the blood arc out your neck, that's pretty to me. Me, President John, I like that one. But this won't have a patina handle because of the material it's made from. But I feel you on the look. I have a rusty machete, big, heavy, African style machete, right? And I don't know if you were there on me, Nikki, where somebody had to sacrifice a dog, I think. Oh my. And the dog's being held, and somebody else who may be on this podcast right now tried to cut through the dog's neck for the sacrifice, and boom, the machete bounced off. It was rusty. Oh my God. So that person may have handed that to a big British master instructor, and that big British master instructor, as strong as he is, tries, boom, and it don't go through. And then that person, the first person, goes and gets a machete similar to this one and goes, and it goes right through there.
Nice new looking one. That's sharp.
Like a nice new one.
That strong blade. That's not rusty.
That pretty cool, rusty, you've been in battle one, that didn't do a damn thing. I'm just saying, maybe I saw somebody do this. I want, the animal authorities calling me, Peter calling my house and no shit. But so this is a good tool. Now, always look at your tool, make sure it's not bent. Make sure there's no birds in it. Take care. If there's birds in it, you can use a grinding stone to grind that away. You can use a wet stone, WHET, not wet like I pour water on a stone. A wet stone to sharpen it. Keep your tool sharp. Put a little oil on that wet stone. Or you can work it like this if you don't want to use your hand, Keep your tool sharp. Okay. This is the original sheath that it came in, and it's okay. After a while, these sheaths, because especially when you sharpen your tool, it'll start cutting through. So you may want to look into getting yourself a heavier sheath, a leather or a wooden sheath. Wood's going to be heavier. You can get a leather sheath. You can make them. Maybe we'll do one of the classes, a class on how to make sheaths for your knives and your machetes. We'll do that. It's been a long time since I done that kind of shit, though. I don't like putting in all that kind of work, to be honest. But
and this is where the leather comes in. The person who was asking about the leather straps. If you like leather, this is where you want to.
Yeah, you can.
You want to make you a crocodile sheath for your machete or whatever.
Now that'd be dope. Have crocodile sheath. Yeah. That'd be dope. So that's my 4. What's your 3?
My number 3 is my favorite knife. I'll talk about that later. But my number 3 is my everyday Kershaw knife that I carry on my side. That's what I took favorite to mean, is the things that the thing that I plan to go to every day. So it's not fancy. It doesn't have the wave function like Belays does, but I can pull it out and deploy it quickly. And it's just a good, dependable knife. It has a good grip on it. It's not metal, even though I have one that actually is more favorite that does have metal. But the thing about metal is, I think Bob was
talking about the grip. You're talking about the grip.
Right. The thing about the metal grip is that it can get slippery, right? If there's some lubricant introduced to the situation, which could happen in a knife, in a situation where you have to engage someone with a knife. But this is just I can't even remember what the name of it is. But I think I got this from Walmart, actually. Because there was a period of time when I lost track of several of my knives. So I got a few from Walmart, and they actually ended up being great knives that I've had for even longer than the original knives that I had. So that's Kershaw is a name that you'll want to look into. Hold on, let me bring it closer. I don't know if you can see that. Kershaw. They make some pretty decent knives. They have they're owned by a company called Emerson, which makes a little bit higher end of a knife. And Emerson is the one that has the patent on the wave function. So Emerson, you'll see their knives, they'll be a little bit slightly more expensive than the Kershaws, and they have that wave function. But you can also find Kershaw knives that are a little bit less expensive, still good knives, and they have the wave function. And what that is when you pull it out of your pocket, it automatically opens. You don't have to deploy it and pull the blade out yourself. The wave will pull against the cloth on your pants, and as soon as you deploy the knife, it'll be open. So if you're looking for a good knife, look for a Kershaw with the wave function if you're interested in that.
And speaking of the wave, that's my number 3 is the Emerson. This is an Emerson Tonto blade. Now, Pressure John, rusted one will give an attacker tetanus. Absolutely. But I don't want that motherfucker to die later. You take care of that then. All right. So anyway, so this is the wave that Ominiki was talking about. See the little hook there? That hooks onto the clothes and open. But also, I hooked it to a student's ear, in their ear, and opened it one time. Okay. You can do different stuff. I can put it right here and open it. I just don't want to open that and then open it by neck. And so you can do it, different way. I can put it here and pull. I'm just being real careful because I don't want to cut myself. But you can do it different places, or you could just open it the good old fashioned way for book. Tonto blade is great for fighting. We had the episode where we were cutting meat with blades, and this cut the deepest because it's made strictly for combat. It's not made for nothing else, right? So it's a deep cut. It's also now this Emerson. This is an Emerson blade. I don't really like advertising them, but this one, and it's Kershaw too, I believe. But this one has not only the wave, and wave is patented. Excuse me. It also has this thumb release. So I can use my thumb to open this as well. With this little circle right there for my thumb. Okay.
Yeah, mine has that one as well.
So that and the wave, when I pull it from my pocket, opens up. The one thing, if you're gonna wear soft pants, you gotta be careful because if the pocket's weak, when it falls, that bad boy's gonna be open. So it can hit you on the way down, cut you. Somebody can step on it, or whatever. So just be careful. It works best with jeans. Okay, and practice it. And that's my number 3 is the folding knife, particularly with the wave on it. Okay.
Okay, so my number 2 is actually a pistol. It is. I don't know if you. It's hard to see. Oh, okay. It's this way.
Mm-hmm.
Still can't really see, but yeah, I'm showing these because I'm assuming it's public information anyway. But this is a Ruger EC9S. The reason why I'm being specific about this particular pistol is because it actually does not have the same capacity as other 9mm. It only holds 6 in the magazine, excuse me, and 1 in the chamber, so you can have up to 7, but it's small. So it's a 9, but it's small, which is good for a woman, especially if it's something that you want to have like actually on you, and you do want to have it on you. But it'll still put a hole in something, just like other 9mm, but it's not as big. So, you can have other weapons, other pistols, but this one in particular, I like because of the smallness of it.
People want these large capacity magazines because they're not comfortable shooting with their shooting ability. That's why a lot of people don't like revolvers. If you can't hit what you want to hit with 6 bullets, your shooting sucks. You better go back to the drawing board, train some more, right? My sister had a revolver that was small. It only had, the cylinder only took 5 bullets, 5 38s. You only take 1 to pop them up. You only take 1 to do what you got to do. And really, you should always double tap when you fire, right? So that's 2 bullets. That's enough. Everything falls down, you probably want something more. That you would carry, but you also have a rifle or whatever. Everything fall down, shit. No rule of law, for real. The big worry is not, and I pray, that doesn't happen, but all empires fall eventually. But if that happens, one big problem we're going to have is white supremacy, the roving gangs. Yeah, gangs of white folks coming in our neighborhood. So you best be ready, for that kind of thing because they be strapped up. Think about white folks that I've noticed when I go to the range. This is real. This is, when they shoot, they love, they zero their weapons, have the scopes and everything. That's heavy what they like to do. They usually marvel at me when I'm shooting, and I shoot well with iron sights. And I invariably, when I'm shooting, and like I'm gonna tell them, listen, who trained you? Who trained you? Because a black man ain't supposed to be shoot like that. Black man, I'm like, what do you mean? Because I'm using Kentucky windage. Kentucky windage is, you, and it's really not Kentucky windage. Kentucky windage is you ain't even using the sights. You just kind of, going with your feeling and shooting. I can't shoot like that. I have to use principles that I've been trained in. I said, I picked up some things here and there. I'm not going to tell these motherfuckers where I learned to shoot at. I don't care, black, white, whoever. I'm at the range. I don't know them.
Right.
It's not their business. It's not their business I learned from the military. It's not their business, but, keep them one day. I'm shooting, they're just watching. I look down the line while I was watching. That's I never go to inside, and you've heard me say that, to inside ranges for a number of reasons, but that's one of the biggest. I go to outside ranges where we have a private lane. I can train students, and I can shoot the way I like to shoot.
Yeah, onlookers.
Right. And then I got to fake my shooting. Just one time I, mess with them. We shooting from 200 meters. And somebody made a statement, you can never hit something, at 200 meters with a pistol. Asked my student who had a 25, I said, can you hand me your 25, please? Pump, 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 pump. Hit the target. What you talking about? Can the bullet travel that far? Then you can hit something that far. If you have the proper training. Will it be as accurate? Hell no, it won't be as accurate. But it could still possibly kill you. I can do it with a 22. It could possibly kill you, right? So it's just training. Military research has shown that the gunfight winner with similar peers is capacity.
But the next person answered, and that because I was thinking the same thing.
They're judging based off of military applications. Yes. Yes. So, and when I'm talking about high capacity, students bought me a certain rifle for my birthday. My wife and my students. And they got me this magazine that held 50 rounds. Because I hadn't taught them on that. 50 rounds. That bad boy jammed up so quick. So your jammed 50 round magazine means nothing if I only got 20 rounds and I'm able to fire.
Right.
So
it's just like that revolver that's going to shoot, even though people shy away from revolvers.
Right.
There's
they're active, jamming up.
Right.
Revolver's not jamming up. I love revolvers. They just don't look cool like in the movies. That's all.
You gotta get a big one, big shiny,
big old
silver one.
Dirty Harry 44 Magnum.
Up, yeah.
The beauty of the 44 Magnum, I'm in the bathroom, using the bathroom. And if y'all don't know, I got a lot of children, so our 9th is coming soon. But 5 of them, they want, and they're close in age, except now. But 5, they running through the house. Running through the house. I hear them, I'm using the bathroom. doing number 2. So I can't jump up. I was like, hey, y'all, stop all that running. Woman, hollering, like, what the hell is going on? So you scoot and you still got your pants down around your ankles. I waddle to the door, open the door. I waddle back to the bathroom, looking up, and my oldest runs past me. Look, she's scared, but also kind of laughing. I said, the hell is going on? Other ones run past. Well, my second oldest, and then my 4th oldest come running past with the 44 Magnum pointed at the other 2. They hauling ass. I said, hey, Uncle Shana. She, huh? She was about 3 at the time. Huh? I said, come here. She comes in the back, is pointing at me. I said, get out of the gun, get out. She said, and she's smiling. I said, oh, fuck. Fingers on the trigger. I said, well, come here, let me see how you shoot. And she comes over and her finger's trying to pull it. It's just too heavy for her to pull. Thank God. And so I take it from my hand. Now, people say, see, you left it, let the children get to it. Wrong. I had that shit up on a mantle that was 8 feet high. How did she do it? So in Chicago, sometimes you have houses that may be, or apartments that may be 200 years old. Had these wooden posts that went across like the room. They would climb on the post. I didn't know they were doing this until then. And they would jump to the other one, hug it, jump to the other one, hug it. And then they would jump and hold on to the mantle and pull up on it and grab. It was 7 feet tall. They would grab the guns down. That I had 3 pistols up there until that day. I moved them. And they would grab the pistols and play with them. And I had them up there because I figured they can't get to that. And they were loaded. Thank God that she wasn't strong enough to pull that. My father and my second oldest sister, if she watches, she gonna trip out. She know what I'm about to say. My second oldest sister, they both older than me, but Lisa shot my father through the hand with a revolver when she was about 2 or 3. She was stronger than my daughter. Not thank God. I didn't want my dad to be shot, but I wasn't born yet. And my daddy had it in his lap and showing her how to use the gun, and he thought she couldn't pull the trigger, and shot him through his hand with the thing. So be careful, because you never know. And thank goodness that Okie Sheena couldn't do it back then. She probably, I was strong enough, she probably would say that now, but thank goodness, because it'd have been a disaster. After that, I learned where to put my firearms. If you have a firearm, you have to debate whether you want to put them in a safe or whatever. If you hear somebody coming in the door, you got to do the combination on the safe. That may be a little bit much. It's up to you. You got little children, you got to be careful. For me, I put my firearms where, like Yami, who you all saw, I know she's not going to go mess with the firearms. She know where they're at. She's trained with them. But when the baby comes, as the baby's 2 or 3, I got a lot of firearms, y'all. I may have to find another place or put them in a safe, except for the ones I have in my bedroom. So those are things to think about too. If you have, children, particularly they're very curious and that kind of stuff.
Have on.
Just be careful. So my number, you gave your number 2. Let me give my number 2. It's also another knife. This is the one y'all always see me with. Now this, I don't even know what you call this. But I just, you press it. it opens up. So opens almost as quick as the wave, right? So I like it. Also, I don't have to worry about it catching on my pants, opening when I don't want it to open. So that, if you're under stress and duress, I can't open it. Usually you can. You're stressed out and your fingers on it, and so you can't open it. That's all. Breathe. Make sure your finger's not over the blade, and it will open. Okay. This one I like because of that, and because this is titanium. They have the one that's stainless steel. This is titanium. It costs a little bit more, but it's much lighter. I carry several tools, so light for me is very important. I want it heavy enough to cut well, but light enough where I'm not just being bogged down. So that's that. And this is metal. When Omanique spoke about the metal handle, but it has lines in it, a bunch of a stronger grip. So if it does get wet and sticky, sticky is okay. Wet, it doesn't slip out my hand.
Yeah, bro.
This one is, I don't know what it is. Is it wood but it has the striations in it too. And so it's easy to hold on to. Okay. So even if it's wood, if it's too thin, too smooth, it may slip out. So that was my number 2.
All right. And my number 1 it's funny that you mentioned that. This actually is a knife that I have lost track of in the past 2 weeks, but it is what I call my bra knife. If you guys have seen, or if you brothers and sisters have seen our past shows, I offer my perspective as a woman with some of these weapons, which is another reason why I'm more specific. Because sometimes, as women, we have to have something that's a little bit smaller or a little bit different, because we have a smaller hand, some of us. But I have a picture of it. And this is another knife that I purchased from Walmart. I'm really hoping that it turns up. I don't know why I can't hold straight right now. But it is $46 right now. When I bought this knife, everything is going up, as we all know. When I bought this knife, it was $20. And it became my favorite go-to knife. It also has the small holes in it, like Baba was saying. It has, something that will allow you to grip it, even though it's metal. Mm-hmm. But
tell them why you say bra knife.
Because I keep it in my bra. I keep it in my bra.
And it doesn't show. It doesn't.
Right. It doesn't show through. And that's the great thing about this one. And the one that I've had to switch to, because, we carry several tools with us. The one I've had to switch to is a little bit more bulky. So trustfully, this one will turn up. If not, I'll have to go ahead and spend the $46 and get another one. But it's small, it's skinny, so that's something that you can adjust until you can't see it through your clothes. And the reason why you want to be making sure that if you're carrying knives, that you have them at different levels of your body, is because you're going to have different accessibility at different times. If you're driving, the one that you keep in your pocket is not going to be as easy to get it with your seatbelt on and all of that. You have to think about that as well if you're carrying a pistol. With the bra knife, say someone's attacking you and they're on top of you, it may be difficult to get to the knife at the bottom. They may not be looking for you to have a knife that's up top, especially if they can't see it. So it's something that another tool that's accessible to you that someone may not be expecting you to have, because you definitely want to be carrying them. And there's going to be some that people are going to see, but you also want to have some in unexpected places. So that's the philosophy behind the bra knife.
Professor John said a weapon for each chakra. Exactly.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Well, I don't know about the crown chakra unless you're wearing a odd job hat that got a blade in it.
Your brain is your crown chakra.
Yes, this is the weapon. Now, Jay said, never let them see you coming. Exactly. That was your number one.
That's my number one.
My number one, too, is a knife. Y'all see a pattern? The top ones is a knife. Right. So my number one is a fixed blade knife. Now, these are folders. Okay. Folders, easy to conceal. Put them in your pocket. You can put them in your pants pocket, in a jacket pocket. You got African outfit on, the pocket that's up top. Fixed blade, you don't have to worry about wave or the little button. It's ready to go as soon as you take it out the sheath. That's why I love a fixed blade. I like them heavier, but you may not, which is funny. I like my folders a little lighter, smaller, because it's for the concealability. This is not really for concealability, but just know we live in Georgia, so I can legally carry this. In some states, you can't. Now, when I'm in Chicago, I have folders on. You just can't, see them. But I don't carry this. This, normally, you carry it on the side, or I like what's called an appendix carry towards the front. I usually have this in the front, have one in my pocket. Sometimes another one kind of to the rear of my pocket on that side, one on this side. Sometimes though, I will wear this on the side, okay? But then I adjust the one that's in this pocket on that side. But that's the fixed blade. Love it. As soon as you pull it, it's ready to go. You ain't got to open it up. Because of its weight, it's got a lot of heavy weight. This is good for slashing and thrusting. If you have one that size, and it's a Tonto blade, great for slashing, okay for thrusting. Okay, just from the way it's made. It's great for slashing.
Yeah, bro.
But the way it's also made, it's okay for thrusting. This one is good for both. Of course, slashing is more effective than thrusting, but both come in handy and you do what you need to do. You say, why do you say that? If I stab you in the gut, which is one of the worst places you can stab somebody, okay? That does systemic damage. So 3 levels of damage. You have vascular, systemic, and structural, okay? What we seek to do most is structural, number one, then vascular, then systemic. Structural is I destroy the structure or the delivery system. So if you're trying to punch me, I slit your wrist or I cut you across your hand to stop that delivery. Or I cut you in the leg to stop you from being able to walk. You can't walk, you can't fight. I want to destroy the structure first. If I cut your wrist, I may do 2. Structural and vascular. Because I may cut the arteries or the veins. So vascular is arteries and veins. I make you bleed out, right?
Yeah, bro.
And then 3rd is systemic. Because systemic, I destroy your system. I stab you, unless I hit your heart, and that's difficult to do. I stab you in your liver. You're probably going to expire, but you have time to make it to a hospital. You have time, unless I hit that artery that's there too. You have time to make it to a hospital, and they can save your life. Stab you in the pancreas, same thing, unless I destroy it absolutely, right? Kidneys, same thing. I stab you in your leg, in your femoral artery. You're bleeding out. You only got a couple of minutes. That's why vascular is superior. But usually you don't stab the valve, you slash to cut the vascular areas. You slash the wrist, you slash inside the leg, you slash the neck. You can stab the neck, but you gotta be more accurate. But if I slash across your neck, I got all that surface to hit that carotid artery. I got all that surface to hit that femoral artery. I got all that surface to hit your different arteries and veins. But if I stab, I got to be pretty accurate. I may miss it, okay? That's why slashing is superior to thrusting, but we do both. We don't just say we never thrust. That would be ridiculous, okay? So now European way of fighting, they prefer to run you through. They will slash too, but they prefer to run you through. I really believe that's a psychological thing. Running you through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you'll find serial killers, and it's black serial killers too. But serial killers will often stab and have orgasm when they stab their victims. Why? Because this is associated with the man's penis. Okay. So those are just things to know. But this is my number one. You'll see all these little things on that. That's not cute designs. That's to make it easier to hold.
Yep.
Also, the way it's shaped here. So it's all to make it easier to hold. This is full tang. Meaning, so if you buy a knife that's half tang, that means the knife goes to about right here, the metal part, and the rest is just the handle. That can break easy.
Yeah, but
full tang. So all the way down is the knife, and then you just got the handle there to make the grip easier. So this ain't breaking. Okay.
I wanted to just say something on knives that you keep in your kitchen as well. I almost brought some up for this also. I think we're not taught a lot about quality knives for the kitchen as well, but you want to have full tang knives in your kitchen also, because if you end up having to defend yourself with something from your kitchen, you want it to be a quality knife. So that's something you want to look for, the forged full tang knives. When you're buying those things for your home, for even just cooking, you want to make sure you have like a good set of full tang knives, because that's going to be something that you can use if you're in a situation.
Right.
I was going to say this too. I have several fixed blade knives also, but I don't find them easy to carry day to day because I'm not wearing pants like that every day. But the folding knives that I use, the bra knife, the other knife that I showed, those are knives that are easier for me to carry day to day based on the kind of clothing that I wear.
Now, Jay said, I live in London in the UK.
So
carrying a weapon is illegal. Problem is, police and the violent don't care about that. If you live in a socially abandoned community, you're caught in the crossfire. Right. So, Akimbola he lives here now, but he's from the UK. Yes, that's an issue there.
And the other brother talked about.
He was saying like the gang members, they have pistols. On TV they show they don't have. I watched one. It was a gang member. He had a gun. He didn't even know how to take the safety wasn't off. I mean, that's ridiculous. People not that stupid. Don't go to another country and somebody points a gun. You thinking, oh, they can't use it. No way, because it's illegal. Legal and illegal applies to those who follow that shit.
Right.
So be very careful, yes. But in the UK, it's not just the UK, Jay. Many places here are very restrictive. Like New York, Chicago, LA, they're restricted with firearms. But there are a whole lot there.
Mm-hmm. And that's when you have to start thinking about your unconventional weapons or things like the hammer,
baseball bat.
Yeah, and there are smaller hammers also that you can carry every day. If you think about wearing something like carpenter jeans, and you have it hooked there, like who knows whether or not you're on your way to work or something like that. That's something that you have to think about if you're in a place that's not going to allow you to carry all these different types of tools.
Well, for Jay and I think Henry Oswald, maybe from UK too.
Right.
A torch.
Rise in the martial arts there.
We call flashlights here. You can carry a torch.
Right.
I've shown before, and I should have had it. Someone told me to have it. This is my, I have a couple in my get home bag, in my go bag, but it has a crenulated bevel on it. Crenulated.
Right. The
so that you can, it's steel. You can, the whole thing is steel, but the way it's made, you can really kind of gash with that. You can use the other end to hit as well. So you can use that as a tool to protect you. Okay.
And also your pocket shark, which we didn't show today.
Right. Or marker, right? Like the Sharpie marker, which is about the same size as the pocket shark. Those things can be used legally around the world to protect you.
It's a marker.
I carry the pocket shark because it's just a marker. I've carried that on airplanes, traveling. So you can have that. I think I may have given my wife one. She flies to Africa twice a year to Nigeria.
And Jay, it looks like a shark marker, but it's called a pocket shark. Look into pocket shark specifically.
Yeah.
Not to promote them, but it's
if you can't find that, just get you a Sharpie king size marker. About the same size. Sharpie king size. Torch and some liquor. Set them on fire. Not that kind of torch, Professor John. Like, the villagers going off with the torch. I'm talking about flashlight. But yes, a torch and some liquor, that's the Molotov cocktail. That ain't my favorite tool, but it's effective.
Henry mentioned crochet needles.
As of a few years ago.
That's what's up.
They just go through TSA. Really?
That's good to know.
Yeah. Now, one of the full instructors, she's originally from Chicago too. She crochets a lot.
And so, I'm about to start learning.
Now, torch and liquor, heavy mag light. Now, okay, so a mag light, that may get flagged in certain places because people know about, a lot of police carry the mag light. That's that big old flashlight. A lot of police carry that. It is legal though. But they may stop you for that. You definitely ain't gonna take that on a plane. But they may stop you for that one because that, you're just walking around, making sure everything light, it's on your shoulder. You may point in the direction that it is. You may point in that direction. You may point in this direction or in this one. So you can point with the mag light. I had a D-cell mag light. I think it took 4 D-cells. That bad boy was big and heavy, right? I believe I lost that to the police. So just know they'll flag you. But I walk around with the small one. Even in Chicago, small flashlight. They ain't saying nothing. It's just flashlight.
Yeah, bro.
So, be careful what you get. But yeah, now if you can get a mag light, that's good for protection in your home. That's like the mini baseball bat. Show them that mini baseball bat. If you get that C cell or 4D, it's not. It's thicker than that actually, and similar.
I have several baseball bats. It's not just this. I have the what is the I can't remember what it's called, but it's the shorter one that little children use.
T-ball
right, the T-ball. I have a few of those.
I got Idea a foam. It's foam, but it's hard. Where I've used that to break a brick with, right? My son, when he was like 9 years old, he would have that little baseball bat. And that was his, people didn't know that's his protection. He'd tear somebody's ass up with that if he had to. I'll be right back on Monique.
Okay. With the baseball bat thing, depending on where you live, that might be something that is considered a weapon too. So if you're keeping it in the car, make sure you have a glove and a ball with you, so that you have something to kind of cover yourself. Just kind of a story, in case you get pulled over and they're trying to figure out why you got 2-3 baseball bats in the back of your car. Let's see. We talked about the flashlight. Now with the mag light, Baba said that you might get flagged. Maybe try to find something smaller that's also still metal. I've definitely seen the smaller ones like Baba talked about that have the beveled edge. So just think of, if you're in a place where you can't have these sort of things, think of things that you can use. Like I said, make sure that you got a good set of knives in your kitchen. Especially in those places, because you might have to use them, Let's see, we talked about the baseball bats, the hammers. I really wish that I had the smaller hammer to show. If I knew Baba was going to get up, I would have looked it up. But he has a few of them. If you look up the shows that Baba does the training with the hammers, you'll be able to see the smaller hammers. The heads are about the same size, but the body of the hammer is probably about this big. So you can really grip it in your hand. It's, imagine nothing below my hand. That's the size of the hammer that I'm talking about, that Baba trains us with. And if you watch those shows, he really shows how to use those effectively for self-defense.
Yeah, that's the stubby hammer. Can y'all hear me?
Bridle.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh yeah, that's the stubby.
The stubby.
Yeah. Got several tools in there. Oh, and on that, so say if you buy training knife, this is polymer. You can use that as an impact tool too. Same when we were talking about the pocket sharp. It's not an actual knife, but it can do damage, and because it has a little point on it, it can do more damage.
Right, you can get up in the eye, up in the ear,
behind the collarbone. That's just a training tool. Okay, polymer training tool.
Baba, I don't know, since you brought your bag, I don't know if this is where you're going with it, but Iapo just asked, what are the best self-defense weapons for a go bag? Yeah, I know you already mentioned you're not a shotgun.
For a go bag, yeah. So my not a shotgun I carry in, not this bag. This is my get home bag. Knives, I good. I'm going to show you in a minute. These gloves are my shooting gloves, but they just have pads on them, and they're anti-cut gloves or stick gloves. So if I was fighting somebody that tried to cut my hands, it's not going to work if I have these on. Okay, and that's with a sword, knife, and I have actually put that to the test. I'm being careful what I take out for reasons.
Oh yeah, Jay pointed out that's a good thing that's something that he could have in the UK is those gloves. So
yeah, what I was going to say, I also have SAP gloves. I don't know if those are legal there. Look into that, Jay. So SAP gloves have 6 ounces of lead shot or sand, depending on what you get. I would say sand. Don't get the one with the lead. I don't want to be absorbing lead into myself. But
And you can't go through a metal detector. I would think it would be an issue with going through a metal detector with
with the lead, but with the sand, you can go through.
right.
And they're just gloves. When if it's in your bag, they see that, they just see gloves. They're not saying, oh, it's sand in there. I don't think. I've never been stopped. So those I waited. This one dude wanted to fight me. And I was like, I really don't, because I'm trying to fight you. I'm trying to take you off this planet. And I didn't see it going there. But it could end up going there. I didn't want to go there. I just took he was talking jive. Me and the wife were sitting in the restaurant. He was drunk. I took my weighted gloves out of my bag. They're in my go bag. They're not here. And I dropped them on the table. Boom! And the sound of them, he just kept it moving.
Mm.
Fuck, he got them gloves, but I'm gone.
Right.
So
he didn't want it like that.
Yeah, you say it's just 6 ounces. Those 6 ounces make a difference in your striking. This is one of my favorite knives just because it's a gift from the students. I love it. It's Damascus steel. Its point it's a molecule in width. It's double edged, so it cuts inside and outside.
It's a millimeter in width. You said a molecule.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I should did like, damn, you wouldn't be able to see, it'd be invisible. Yeah, millimeter. Excuse me, y'all. If it was a molecule, you know how much cutting that would do? But anyway, I just wouldn't know. I actually cut them. I wouldn't be able to. It's double edged. Just know if you have a double edged blade in the United States, you have to be able to legally carry firearm as well. Just know that. So it's double edged. It also has the saw blades towards the top. It's got it's full tang. It has a heavy handle with great grips on it. This is a karambit. It's like a talon of a bird.
Mm-hmm. Someone mentioned that. Yeah, and you'll like it, Prester John, because it's real pretty. It don't have no rust on it.
Exactly. This
real pretty.
You can cut with it this way. You can flip it to smack with it. It can be an impact tool. This is double bladed though, so it would just cut you. It wouldn't be an impact tool. But you can use it, flip it around, do all that nice pretty stuff. You don't have to do the pretty stuff though. It's intuitive, so I can use it just like if I boxed. So if I throw a punch, or if I throw a karate punch, or a Western boxing punch, the 1 millimeter in reaches you first.
Right.
Okay? So it's real intuitive. Just box with it. Just box to the best of your ability. Throw them hands. You throw them hands, unless you throw it. And even if you throw like that with that old cat scratch we were fighting, you still be scraping the shit out of somebody with that. So, great tool. That's why I like the karambit, because now this is a high level karambit, but even if you get a cheaper one, it's going to work just as well. So that's the karambit.
And Iapo was asking if brass knuckles are illegal. I don't think hardly anything is illegal in Georgia. You have to look up the law for where you live.
You have to, for something to be illegal in Georgia, it has to be something like a bomb.
Mm-hmm. Or something that would benefit people specifically.
That
would be illegal here.
This is the flashlight I was talking about. You see that crenulated bevel right there? Let me see if you can see how it's shaped. The way it's shaped, that's good for scraping. The whole thing is metal, but it's pretty light. I can adjust it so it's real bright, so I won't make sure I don't hit you in the eye with this mug. I ain't gonna be able to turn it on like that to show you, but turn off. You can adjust it. There you go. You can adjust it so it has different levels of light. And once I figure out, maybe I put some paper in front of it or something. But it's real bright, and you can make it wide or thin beam for illumination's sake, and then for protection's sake, you can strike with it. Some people tell you, put the light in their eye, and when it blinds them or disorients them, then you can strike. That's possible. I wouldn't bank on it.
Situation, right?
But in the middle of fighting, should your thumb hit it and it comes on, you can crack them with it. So this is a cool tool too. You can hold it this way. You can hold it this way to strike. You got more power this way. Just use it like hammering a nail in wood. This way, use it like you would a knife. Okay, scrape down the face or what have you. So that's that flashlight. I didn't put it in my top 5. It's definitely in my top 10. I didn't put it in the top 5 just because if I broke this mug, I'd be upset on somebody's head because now I can't use it to illuminate stuff, right? But that's that. The types of batteries it takes, just so you know. Is the AAA batteries. It's like 4 of them, something like that. 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me see. Yeah, 3 AAA batteries. I bought all of my children one. I can't get until she comes to the States. My daughter Okeshina, she lives in Korea. When she gets here, I give her hers, and get that. And they're not that expensive. I can't remember what they are, but it's not that bad. All right. Any questions? If not, share with us.
Those, Baba.
Huh?
Thank you for showing those. I'm glad that we're able to give some alternatives to some of our brothers that live in brothers and sisters, that live in places where they can't have the firearms, that can't have the knives. But it's important to be creative so that we can make sure we take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Creativity is one of the main keys to your survivability, right? You have to be resourceful because you just never know. People ask all kinds of stuff. What happens if somebody, and people say, well, that's a ridiculous question. It's not. What happens if they, kneeling on your back while they got one arm behind your back? I was asked that before. Well, there's a solution to that. And
you should have trained.
Right. And I taught the solution. And the person said, I wish I knew that then. You know what I mean? You can imagine who was on their back with their arm behind their back. And so what I showed was how to get out of that and haul ass. I didn't show how to get out of that. You bring the person down with an ankle pick and y'all on the ground fighting and shit. Because I know exactly who they were talking about did it. You don't want to be on the ground with them. Right? You just want to haul ass. So there's a solution to everything. And as long as you're creative and you have training to back that up, that creativity, you'll find a solution to your problem.
Right.
All right, y'all. Share with us what your top 5 tools are. If you want, you can send that to us anonymously if you want to, because people are looking at our page.
Yeah, bro.
So, if you're so inclined, share with us what your top 5 are. And, maybe we'll do our top 5 tools not to use one day. Some shit needs to just stay where it's at.
Right.
Right.
These videos people posting on YouTube and elsewhere.
Yeah. So, those YouTube warriors, boy, they had you going, Jack. You said that is cool. Making tie a rope to your knife and use it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I know somebody who did it. They tied an axe to a rope and a knife on the other end. One of those 3 people we talking about.
I know.
So, just be careful because some stuff you do, and when people show me, I say, "Oh, that's interesting. Let me see how you work with that." And it's always just
like way, way away watching how
Yeah. I'll move about 10, 20 feet away. But while they work it, I want to see, maybe I'll learn something. And usually what I learned is don't do bullshit, don't use that shit. So, all right, y'all. So thank you, Omi Nikki.
Thank you, Baba. And thank you. Shout out to Sugar Booger, I Manifesto, everyone who we normally shout out when we come in. We just kind of dove into the information. But we got much love for all of y'all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here every week.
Yes. And to our new folks, thank y'all. Love y'all.
Most definitely.
Stay black or whatever it is that you may be. Be safe out here. Peace.
Yeah, bro. Peace. Preston John is tripping today.